till it's like 5-7 minutes in on average. I don't even know what that means. So this is the pre-show with Tommy Savitt. We're just warming up for the 7.5 Laffy Yaffy. How does that happen? Viewers, okay, it's 11 o'clock. It's official, 11 o'clock on the Pacific Coast. Mark Yaffe, welcome to episode 16 of How Does That Happen with the guest, the man, the myth, the comedy legend, Tommy Savitt, a.k.a. Tommy Lama. Tommy, thanks for joining me. Episode 16. I think you will have more comedy titles soon at the rate I'm putting out these damn podcasts. Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for having me, Mark. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you again. A lot of your viewers may not know, but you and I have been around the world together.
We have history across we've spanned the globe by air, land, sea. We performed in the metropolis of Naha, Okinawa. We're in Seoul, South Korea. And yeah, Tommy has kicked my ass at Golden Tee across the globe.
See, I don't even remember that. I don't even remember that.
It's weird how you because I have the worst memory, but the things you think about. But everywhere we went, because this was it was probably the 2005, 2006, somewhere around there. And every base in America, I guess there was some sort of contract between Golden Tee and the armed forces that every recreational facility in the United States military would get a Golden Tee. And Tommy was like the Tiger Woods of gold. I didn't beat him once. I don't think I even came close. And I tried to get as drunk as I could. It didn't help.
Imagine if I would have focused on important things in my life instead of the less important ones, such as Golden Tee. If I applied myself as hard as I applied myself to beating you in Golden Tee, maybe on even a higher plane. But who am I to judge?
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? We can all be good at some things. You happen to be good at several things, Golden Tee and comedy. This, of course, I show How Does That Happen is a podcast about unusual record holders, should be record holders, and want to be. Now, I know as an industry, comedy doesn't really keep official records. There's no, comedy board or a comedy association, but Tommy holds a distinction. I'm sure no one's come close of winning 5 major comedy competition titles. So just to refresh, we got Boston, Ventura, San Francisco, Seattle, and Lake Tahoe Hard Rock.
I did not win San Fran. I won Seattle.
Seattle. I'm okay. Well,
no. I was a finalist. I think I was a finalist twice in San Fran. San Fran has been my kryptonite, but I've won also the Lake Tahoe Hard Rock Cafe one you mentioned. And then I've won, there's other festivals I've won in Canada that I haven't listed because I just put the United States festivals on my resume.
A typical American-centric.
Yes, yeah. I don't even bother with the Canadian festivals.
I love it. And then you work a lot in Canada because they love you up there. So in Canada, it's like screw those American ones. I won the Kamloops Comedy Festival.
Oh, that's great. That's Kamloops is a great place, but unfortunately, right now, the borders are closed.
Yeah,
and it's been closed since March. So, and I don't know when they're going to reopen it. They're doing comedy, but who knows? This could go another year or two. Who knows?
Well, that's the thing. Then when it comes back, and they're like, well, you know what? We've managed to get by with Canadian comedians in our home, and now is it going to be a paradigm shift where the longtime stalwarts like yourself are going to be like, well, they're going to miss you a lot and just can't wait to have you back, or they're going to be like, well, you know what, we're going to stick with healthy Canadians, and you look flush and healthy, but you stay in America.
That may happen. And you know what? Good. I'll stay here and try to be as good in developing context as I am in playing Golden Tee.
Well, so what I usually like to do to open the show, now we're already 5 minutes in, is instead of me reading off a bio of your accomplishment and your background, could we, if you could, just spend a couple minutes, give us the Tommy Savitt bio of Tommy Savitt.
Well, Mark, I went to law school back in the day, and I started doing comedy my second year of law school. And when I first started out as a baby Tommy Lama, this is even pre-Tommy Lama, I was at the Boston Comedy. I would start my first set was at Caroline's, but I would start at the Boston Comedy Club in the Village in New York City. And lo and behold, you're talking about it. I'm going on in between the baby Dave Attell, baby Dave Chappelle, baby Jim Norton, baby all there were there were new, like there were a few. I think Jim Norton was 6 months in, 9 months in, whatever. But and the Chappelle and the rest were a couple of years in or several years in. But that was the school that I went to learn the Talmud of comedy. And so I saw the very best from the get-go. So that's a curse and tough to compete in the world where that's where the best reside. In general, New York has the most per capita best comedians, I think, in the States.
Oh yeah.
And so it's great that you see the best and you learn. You learn by observing. But tough place to start too. It's a double-edged sword. So maybe it's better to start off in LA.
So you get into that environment right away. The intimidation factor's got to be pretty strong. You're no shrinking violet. What was the development process? How long did it take you to get your comedy sea legs in that?
Oh, I think it takes 5 years at least 5 years. 5 to 8 years to get sea legs, because in the beginning you're hit and miss. You don't know why you're not consistent. You don't know. You're still finding your voice. Listen, some are prodigies that but that's an exception. They just, they're naturals where they just, like an Eddie Murphy type.
Yeah.
But others have a very slower pace to develop and discover who they are or what they want to portray on stage.
Yeah, you hear talk, like you say, people that say, well, they never saw like Dane Cook. I know guys that come in Boston, even when he was just starting out, didn't have a bad set. They saw Chappelle, almost never saw him have a bad set. And that, like you said, that's if you don't bomb, it almost can work against you. If you come out and it's too soft, you didn't have that soft landing in New York though. You had to come out swinging.
No, rough. No, New York is a great place. It's the greatest audiences and it can be the cruelest audiences. So, and the great thing about New York is you get exposed to the world. The world travels through New York. So you're getting exposed to all types of demographics, age groups, and sex. So you get it all. And times change in general, but New York is an edgy place where edge rules. Now, I know there's a lot of political movements going on and everything. So I don't know where it is now. I don't live in New York, but I don't know what, but that's a place where it's edgy and the audience is edgy right back at you. I mean, I performed for mobs in Brooklyn. It's scary, it's scary stuff, and especially if they don't like you. The threats that and when they heckle you, those threats you don't know if they're real or not because they can be carried through easily. Just for why not? And
then you don't want to you can't back down on stage, but then you have to have enough.
Right, so you got to choose if you want to save your ego or your life.
Yeah,
your choice.
Did you ever have any scrapes with audience members in New York afterward?
I mean, in New York, I had mob-centric audiences, and they threatened to set me on fire or after the show in the parking lot, stuff like that. But maybe I was going to go up in flames. I don't know, but other than that, I'm a road dog. So I got to tell you, the most dangerous or once again, I haven't had a scrape on stage. They've all been dissipated, avoided. But I would say pound for pound, Philly or Pennsylvania is the worst. the worst for Animal House behavior in audiences. The most I've come close to violence erupting from the audience members. I would have to say Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. Yeah, I'm going to give the whole state the accreditation.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't noticed that on the west side as much, but yeah, Eastern Pennsylvania.
I'll give you an example. I had a guy chase me off the stage with a pitcher of beer, running around the audience in circles. I'm running around. He throws it at me. I duck. The audience gets splashed. The security comes and throws him out. I mean,
once that happened, they're on.
That was a nice one. That was a nice, and that was a guy who wasn't even angry. He just did it because he could. Wow. No reason. You're just having a good time, and that's their good time.
Yeah.
So it only gets better after that, Mark.
It was a bye week for the Eagles. They needed some.
Yeah. I have to say, like, it's the worst state.
Pennsylvania is the worst state. I'm
going to say my opinion. I'm going to say it is.
And your favorite state?
I've done a lot of dung holes in my life, Mark. So I've been through all over the world many years, every nooks and crevices. So that takes a lot for me to give them the accreditation.
Yeah, you think about that, And how about your favorite state or city to perform in?
Okay, we talk in the States.
Let's go domestic first. Then we'll go international.
Domestic. I got to tell you, one of my favorites is Sarasota, Florida, baby.
Okay.
Sarasota, because the beaches are white sand. The weather's fantastic. I don't mind a little moisture in the air here and there. The sights. I'm going to say I like Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Also, it's because a lot of New Yorkers are in Florida, so it's like an escape in paradise with people you can relate to.
You get the relatability along with the good weather and the beaches. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Not that I'm a beach goer per se, as you can tell by my melanin. Excuse me. I malaprop sometimes, unintentionally, but yeah. So Florida would be a hot spot. And then I like Canada a lot.
Canada versus U.S. I don't want to, I don't want you to disparage your own country.
I'll tell you right now, hands down, I like Canada. I'll give Canada the thumbs up, hands down, because the audience members they read more books, pound for pound. One or two more books than our American brethren. So I prefer that.
Now, a lot of people don't know that you've had two incarnations or incantations. I don't know what we call it.
They both work.
Yes, there's the Hey Tommy character, which is the original Tommy Savitt character. And then you morphed into your new act, which was earned you a residency in Vegas, is the Tommy Lama character. Now, we'll talk a little bit about those, but just what is Canada more partial to? Are they partial to a Tommy Lama or a Hey Tommy?
They accepted my past incarnate. Here's the thing. They both. And here's the thing. And no matter where it is, some will prefer one over the other. Or some will like both, because it is the same style of comedy. In misdirection, in presentation. It's just the content matter and the point of view is different. That's all.
Okay.
So it comes from the same vein. Mm-hmm. But the Lama probably, if you read a book or two, would be better suited for that type of audience member. That's all. Hey Tommy you don't need to read books too much.
Yeah, that's a more blue collar character.
Yeah,
it went over very well overseas, and I had the misfortune of having to follow Tommy many nights on the tour. I can't follow this. This guy just crushed. All right, it was almost as painful as Golden Tee, probably more so. But we had a lot of fun. So we want to get into the record thing, but I digress. Your favorite Asian venture story with Mark Yaffin? We did
Mark, yeah, you are one of my favorite stories of all time. Well, I mean, it's a fun story to tell. Well, my friends, me and Mark were in Seoul, Korea. And we went to a bar after our show. We were in a hotel, and by the way, it's like a sauna in Seoul. It's like you take a shower, you got to take another shower right after. It's like Louisiana times 10, times 10. And so we do a show. We're in Seoul. Let's go to a bar. Me and Mark walk into a bar. And okay, it's different culture, different customs, and there are women sitting at the bars, and they start talking to us, but that's what they do. We don't know this. They're called juicy girls, and I guess they call them because they juice every cent out of you. But so they make conversation, and they start talking to you, and I guess okay, this is the custom. Because I went with Mark before with his friend, and that's, they make you feel comfortable. They have I look at them as hostesses, and they are, but they're more than that. So they talk and they go, could you buy me a drink? Sure. And, the drink is $5. So I think I bought a couple of drinks for her, for me. Mark did the same. Then we get the bill, and it's $1,000, $800,000, and I go to the mama-san. Excuse me, how is the bill? It's $5 a drink. She goes, your drink is $500. Theirs is $200. So me and Mark comes, Tommy, could we have a conference for a second? And Mark goes, listen, here's the deal. I don't have cash on me. I'll pay you back after the trip. I just can't put this on my credit card. And I go, why, Mark? Well, he goes, well, Tommy, you have an excuse. I'm married. And I laughed so hard. But you soon left your wife thereafter anyway.
You got juiced. Yeah, it took a few more years. But
you soon.
That was the writing on the wall. It was time to leave.
But I understand that. So it's a swindling. Now everyone's going to go, well, why'd you pay? Why didn't you walk out? Well,
in the back with very large back.
There's a lot of men that you do not walk out. Okay, you do not walk out of there. They've hospitalized many American soldiers who have defied this custom. You just learn from this. Now, we could have refused, but we would have had to put the money in our medical expenses. That's all. I mean, yeah, we could have stood up. We could have. But, those type of situations, you got to make a cost-benefit analysis.
You're in a foreign country. You don't speak the language. They have home field advantage. They own the referee, the stadium, and
and the cops are not going to help you. You're on your own, baby. So we had a choice. We could do it as some famous prisoner who was sexually assaulting other inmates. There was a famous 2020 interview. He goes, when he would approach his victim in the cell, he says, we could either do this the hard way or the easy way. It's up to you. How are we gonna do this? Me and Mark chose the easier path.
Yeah, the juicy bar juicy girls put a little dent in the profit margin for that.
Oh, huge profit! What a story!
I did pay you back, though, right?
You paid me back. You did.
Hey, everyone. I paid Tommy back, and he was nice enough to come on the show. So, again, back to this. This is a record holder show. So the unusual record is you have a multiple comedy competition championship. So first of all, and for those of you that comedy as an art form is hard enough. Comedy as a competition, why don't you say a whole different level, right? So what was your first even before you got into these major competitions? When did you do the mindset to start trying competitions? Where were you at? How did that go? Your first one?
Oh, I would get eliminated from comedy competitions left and right. I couldn't even pass a preliminary round. For those of you that are listening to this, usually in comedy contests, it depends on, there's so many different styles. but some have a preliminary round that you advance to a semifinal, then the final. Some are a one-off.
Right.
You know, some you do. It's a 3-week marathon. Some is done in 1 week. Some is done in 2 days. I've done the whole gamut, so I was constantly getting pounded and eliminated, and then
but
one day,
I guess I can guarantee you were paying attention to what was happening, what people were doing, what were some of the techniques, because it's not just go tell jokes.
No, and by the way, and let me preface this: winning a competition is an art in itself. Doesn't make you a better comedian than anyone who doesn't make it to the finals or comes in second or gets eliminated off. There's a science. There's a science to competition. To increase your probability, to give you an edge. Because I cannot go to a competition and guarantee you I will win or even advance. I cannot do that. All I could do is, in my opinion, practice my theories and hope to advance. And
well, you can't guarantee
maximize my edges.
Yeah, you can't guarantee, but I'd sure put money on you. You know, I've won.
It's a value. I'm a value bet. Just like when you pick a golfer on the Open, let's throw a little on Tommy. You know, it's worth the shot. He's like a horse in a race. You know, you put a little money down.
That would be fun if it were, if you have a competition in a casino venue, bet on the comedians.
Yeah, if it was able to be regulated, and that'd be really good. Yeah, if it was able to be, no fixes in.
You could do you could pick a winner. You could do a parlay. Your first, second.
Yeah, you now exacta, first, second, third, like a horse.
Yeah. So, what was the first major competition you won, and how far in comedy?
Well, the biggest one. I won the biggest one, which in 2007, the Boston Comedy Festival.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, this is run by Jim McHugh and very prestigious comedy festival. Boston, some of the most venerable venues, and you've got to they pull people from there's hundreds of submissions. So you got to think there's some people that shouldn't be submitting, but mostly it's heavy hitters and people that want to make a name for themselves. This is going to be they're stepping out if they haven't made it already, and the people are coming out swinging, and in the Boston market, which is not the softest of audiences.
No, and it was just great as a New Yorker to win in Boston, because I think I was the first New Yorker to win. I don't know what happened subsequent to me, but I think I'm the first New Yorker to win in Boston. To me, that alone is very pleasing.
Yeah, exactly.
The rivalry that's between the two towns.
How many years in comedy were you at that point?
I mean, no more than 10.
Yeah,
you're at that 8 to 10.
You're still in that zone where you're finally getting your stride, and that's a huge leap, at that point. And who was some of the finalists of that year? Do you remember anyone?
Tom Simmons, Mike Kaplan.
Oh, both heavy hitters.
Yeah, no, it's no joke. No joke. But I almost canceled the festival because I was living in LA at the time, and I flew in, and I wasn't getting much gigs at the time. So financially, this was a very difficult gamble to take, especially when I have a 0 track record. Because
that's a 5-day competition, 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, and they don't put you up in the hotel and stuff like that. They don't pay for your flight, whatever. I mean, that's not atypical. That's usually a lot.
People have to understand. You take care of your travel. Most of the time, take care of your lodging. You might get some snacks in the green room a couple nights.
Yeah,
we've done competitions of guys that lived in their car and had a microwave plugged in, and for the whole time they were doing a competition. Yeah. So did you have a gig that almost came up that you canceled it for? Or?
Yes. I was scheduled to go to Canada for money, for money.
Guaranteed money.
And Ron, no. That's a different festival that I won. I'm sorry. That was the Seattle one.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't have anything going on. I just took it, but it was money I really couldn't afford to play with, but I did it anyway, just cause, no reason. I flew into Jersey. I was supposed to get a deal on the car that my friend Justin was supposed to hook me up. It fell through. So now I have this car rental expense that's a couple of hundred on top of it. It's raining. It's coming down hard. And I have to drive from Jersey to Boston.
Were you doing a show that night?
Yeah, I had a show that night.
That's correct.
Yeah, and there's no, and I'm supposed to stay at a friend's in New Hampshire, but I couldn't do it. So I would have, and even if I was to advance or not advance, I would have to drive to New Hampshire for the night anyway. So everything's going against you. Usually, when things are going against you, you should just not fight it. Usually it's an omen. So I'm going through the tolls. It's raining really hard. My friend from New York goes, skip it. Just come over where we love you. They're not going to get you. Come stay with your friends in New York who understand you and love you for who you are. Don't waste your time with this festival. They don't get you. They can't get you. It's not for you. And then his wife, my friend's wife, said, well, Tommy, pull over to the side of the highway, see what your heart tells you, and then make your decision. So I'm in between, I'm several hours still away from Boston. I pull over to the side and I'm listening to my heart, and my heart tells me nothing. It says nothing. So I just shrugged and went on forward, because that's just what I do in life. Go forward like a moth to flame. Like a moth, there's no brains behind it. Just went on. And my God, what a brutal preliminary this was, my friend. And I think I drew number 2 out of this gangbuster lineup, by the way. I just named you 2 finalists, but there was gangbusters throughout the preliminary, comedians, like strong comedians throughout preliminary. So, those are just 2 of like the of the quality that was there. So it's a bad audience. It's raining. There's 8 people in the audience. They're not giving it up. They're not. It's brutal. By the way, everyone is going down in flames. It's not like someone hit it out of the ballpark that night. It was one of those. But it's a sloppy playing field. Everyone is getting tagged on their balls that they're pitching. So what I did was use a little football analogy when I went up there, and I took what the defense gave me. I played small ball. Now I'm mixing 2 pastimes here. I played small ball. Okay, I got on second. I'm not going to try to go. I'm not, just keep playing. Just hit soft, hit soft. Get the points. It's like an MMA fighting. Get the points and not go for the knockout. I didn't.
That's not a good draw either. First and second, people are still figuring out what's going on.
No,
you are somewhere 4 through 6 in the meat of the lineup. You're basically the second man after the leadoff hitter.
Terrible. By the way, early slots are terrible in competitions. The later, the better. But you can't control that.
Unless too late and the audience is drunk. So you want,
there is a danger of too late. Middle spot's the best.
Yeah.
It's the cream spot. But you always want middle to end over beginning any day. I think starting 3rd or 4th starts getting the cake spot. Anyway.
So you went small ball.
I went small ball. I didn't panic. I just took. Okay, they chittered, laughed at that. But boom, I didn't put. So a lot of comedians. Oh my God, they're not giving it up, and they did overacting, acting. Trying to, like trying to going off their game plan, panicking off their script. And I understand that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just telling you the path I did.
You stayed in your wheelhouse.
I stayed in my wheelhouse. I just said, this is what I'm going to do. And it was enough to be one of the contestants to move forward.
And that's another thing people have to realize in a comedy competition. There's very few that are just one night. Once in a while, they're almost all multi-day, multi-week. So you have to strategize on what material you're going to use on what night, be ready to change, because you may have to bring some of your A material earlier, or you might have to reshuffle because you've got to just advance. So there's so many different variations on that. But were you expecting to advance at that point after everyone?
No, not at all. And only two, I think there was like 15 to 18 contestants. And no. But I did, and I stayed in the pocket. That's all I could tell you. I had poise, I had a calmness, and I did just about as good as anybody else there. I just didn't panic. That's all. I just didn't panic. And also, my mentality was I have nothing to lose. Like, I didn't expect to win. I did not go there expect. So there was no pressure on me. No one was looking at me as a contender. I was not a top dog perceived by other comedians to cause any type of threat whatsoever.
Yeah, this is all pre-Vegas residency.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
And then
so that probably worked to your advantage a little bit too, because you kind of come out of nowhere also.
Right. No one's thinking about you. No one's gunning after you. No one's bad mouthing you. Because there's some ugly things that go in the locker room, green room.
There's people
bad sports.
Yeah.
Very bad sports. I mean, I could go with the stories and tell you, if I
was there a lot of
people you may know, and it's not nice. Not nice for the character.
Mentioning names, was there that first one? Was there a lot of peacocking and mind games going on backstage when you were going through that first championship?
There is. You know what? I got to tell you, there always is. I have yet to see a competition I've been in where you don't have those type of characters, resentments and stuff like that. I'm not even talking about to me, to others that are perceived threats. There's a lot of cattiness. There's a lot of drawbacks. It's not good. Rarely do you have a good camaraderie. I've seen good camaraderie before as a host of finals for competitions. I've seen a rare batch here or there, but not the ones I've been in.
Each of them have their own personality, and most of them are pretty dysfunctional.
Yes, you are correct. So now, you got to deal with the mind games. There's no peace.
What was your strategy? Would you wear headphones? Did you just stay out of the room?
I stayed out of the room. I did not watch anyone. I do not watch anyone.
I'm not even talking about the performance room. I'm talking about backstage. Would you kind of vacate?
I had headphones for the finals. I had headphones in the finals, and they stayed in the green room the whole time till my name was called.
What was the winning soundtrack? What were you listening to?
Oh, I don't even remember, man. Maybe some kind of new age, binaural beat type of winning type of those things that are on YouTube.
Is that part of your repertoire as far as comedy in general? Are you a positive visualization guy, or that mental mindset?
I've won both ways, visualizing and not visualizing. I think it depends on the event. I feel more confident when I visualize, and I do. I'll meditate. I'll meditate that day. I'll state to myself. I'll burn incense. I'll take rocks, crystals, rocks, and put them in my hands. And I've done it without it too, but I prefer that way. I feel it gives me more confidence, even if it's a placebo.
That's so funny because there's a stereotype right away. You're a Brooklyn guy. You have a machismo to you. No one would ever. Oh yeah, Tommy's a Chris. Now because you have the Tommy Lama character who is a new age self-help guru.
People assume stereotypically, but like I've been exposed to new age and all new age thinking ever since I was in New York. I've been surrounded by such an environment, so this is not coming out of thin air.
Yeah. Now, how did your time in law school and that type of environment did that factor help you as far as these competitions and
I'll tell you what law school does, just in life in general. It hones the very least, hones your analytical skills. Hones your analytical skills and your logic. That's all. Doesn't make you funny or not funny. It just sharpens your mind and the way you look at life and the way you approach things tactically. So yeah, I say, it's a component.
And what was your favorite competition to win? Was it that first one? Boston,
baby. Boston. And by the way, I did Boston again because champions were able to. 7 years later, I was able to. Champions are allowed to come in again.
Yeah.
I made it to the finals. I didn't win. I can't guarantee, but I give myself an edge.
Yeah.
That's it. I was in the finals. I was in the money. I was a little off. I dropped something that day, and it just threw it. My rhythm was just a nanosecond off for me, from my comfort building. I had a chime thing that I was doing, and I dropped it, and I said, it just, and it was a little funky for me. No, I was off by a nanosecond in my estimation, and that's it. So that's all.
So once you won Boston, was it like, hey, I want to do more competitions, or was this just kind of the ebb and flow of comedy? Like, hey, I'm open. This is available. I have a chance to win some more money. Did the outlook change?
No, I was just open. And then I won Seattle the following year, the Seattle International Comedy Competition.
Most people don't know that Seattle is one of the most, probably in the top 3 of comedy.
Yeah, definitely top 3.
And it's a 3-week you have to do a preliminary, semifinal. It's a grind, yeah.
That's a grind. That's a 3-week grind, where Boston was 1 week.
Comedy triathlon.
Yeah. And then after Seattle, then I became a mercenary. After I won that one, I said, you know what? Let's make some money. Let's. Then I became a bounty hunter.
Cash grab.
I became a professional bounty hunter. I think after 2, you could be a bounty hunter for comedy competitions. And then, I win. I don't always win, clearly, but even now, whatever. But all I could do is increase my probability, and that's all I could do.
Yeah. Well, what advice do you have to the comedians that are looking at doing a comedy competition when things get back to live, whatever? Any mindset tips, insights, non-proprietary?
No one's your friend. No one is your friend. Everyone, there's just a lot of insecurities that really, comedians are insecure to begin with. So this takes it to the nuclear level. So
insecure people in front of an audience with money involved, competition, stress.
Yeah, they got to pay their rent. You don't know what's behind their motivation for this competition. So
how Comedy Central or someone hasn't done a reality show about a comedy competition? I think we need to produce that one. The whole
Oh my, that would be so good.
Actually,
that would be a reality show in the comedy to see the ugliness.
We'll talk off air.
Yeah. But not everyone. And then you have surprise. And I've gone to other comedians, comforted other comedians that were attacked by bigger name comedians that were resentful of the, So I know I keep to myself. I can just speak for myself. I never was one of those that degraded anyone, attacked anyone. I would only, if I would lose or I didn't do good in that round, was I upset? Yeah. I may be down. Yeah. But I wasn't one of those parasites.
You got to be a gracious winner and an even more gracious loser. I think that's the key.
Yeah. I don't expect to win. I just expect to do. My expectation is to try to get into the money.
Do you enjoy competition still, or like you say, is it just a cash grab? Got to get paid.
Say that again.
Do you still enjoy doing it, or is it just the cash grab? Hey, I'm just here for pure capitalism.
I don't enjoy the negativity backstage, but I do. You know what? For competitions, I rise above. Like it's something about the competition makes me perform at my best. So I love them. I still, with all its warts and all, because comedy has warts anyway. What the difference is, there's always backstage problems.
Mm-hmm. I think when the COVID ends, I think there might be a whole slew of comedy competitions because people are going to be looking to put the shock paddles to get comedy back into the public consciousness. And really, the thing, as stressful as it is for comedians to do comedy competition, it's really a great treat for an audience to see people come out and doing their A material and tight and everything, and boom, 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 boom. You know,
it's very satisfying. It's very sad, and by the way, and it's subjective.
Yeah.
Like, and I've seen like people coming up to winners, and I've had it to myself. Oh, you shouldn't have won. It should have been someone else. It just shut up.
Right.
Shut up. I don't care. I'm getting the cash.
Yeah.
Okay, good. He should have won, or she should have won. Good. Didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's football for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't get the calls.
This candidate should have won the election. That player should have got the call in the end zone.
Right. Okay. So subjective.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just is like you said, you've been doing it for so long, and the fact that you've had the road experiences, I think that's got to factor in a lot. And you have to be in some of these one-nighters. You've learned to tune.
Well, here's what I got to say. The competitions don't serve the road. Actually, the road dogging doesn't serve you. The advantages of the city comics, because they're usually short sets, 5-7, 5-7 best. And you know who really stun in the preliminary rounds, and a lot of headliners get eliminated, is newbies, because that's all they have is their 5 minutes or their 7 minutes.
They don't make the semi and knock people out in the preliminary.
They can knock road dogs because they don't have the discipline to. That's why it's healthy to do city and the road.
Yeah, that's why I think
when it gets longer, like in like let's say with some finals, you have 20, 25 minutes you got to do. Then the road dog shines.
Yeah,
but they can get eliminated right off the bat.
Right. So we should get wrapping up here. But I wanted to have you share with the audience members. You started out as the Hey Tommy character. Now, Tommy Lama, what's your
one-stop holistic shop? If you thought you had problems before you came to my show, I'll create bigger ones for you. It's a healing seminar. I conduct it as a healing seminar, whether you expected it or not, or wanted it or not. It's too bad. And I will help you. I go through the audience. It's interactive, and we'll do a lot of healing therapies, meditations. I'll talk to the dead, if you know. I'm good. Like Mark. Like I'm getting
and a prophet.
And a prophet. I'm certified through the internet, so it's official. I conduct marriages.
Are you your
person?
Even if you're minister?
I'm a minister. I am a certified minister. I got it off. I did really get that off the internet.
Yeah.
I can marry people. Yeah, you just send in an email that you want to do it. You pay $20, and I'm a minister.
Can you do a Zoom marriage right now? Is that illegal given COVID? Busy.
I haven't really looked into that yet, but maybe with the current condition of comedy, that's something I should really focus on, marrying people with a smile. But I do card readings. I do retrograde readings. I do sound healing. There's nothing I don't do. I'm better than Tony Robbins and Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz. I'm all of them combined, but more and better.
Well, I tell the audience members, I got to go to TommyLama.com. That's 1 L and Lama. All right. Check out the guru, comic genius of Tommy. Man, I love talking to this guy because he definitely has the stories. He's got the insight and the humor, and glad to know him. And you guys check out Tommy's website. Definitely get on his Facebook, because if you just want some solid, entertaining posts, this guy is an interactive a comic. I mean, he's always keeping it fresh. That's what I love about this guy. Some guys we've known him for years are just in that loop. Nothing's changed. Tommy's reinvented himself, more than once on stage with success every time. Vegas national headliner, continued success, and hopefully. Tommy Lama have any advice for people to get through the COVID? Parting words.
I think just keep doing, distract yourself. Like pick up a hobby, master it. Like I've mastered golden tea. Like take golden tea and become the best you can at it. It takes your mind off it. Whatever you do, excel, or prepare for your act. Hone your act for the next competition when it comes out. Whatever it is. Me, I like to smoke cigars. I get to try. Some people are stamp collectors. I'm a cigar collector. So now I have all this time for myself to match my cigars with my bourbon in my backyard, in the garden. What better time to really explore the botanics and health virtues of smoking and drinking?
See, some true guruic. There's no such word.
Why not coin it? You just coined it.
Yeah, guruic. Well, that was truly guruic and a lot of fun, man. Thank you for jumping on. This has been episode 16. Is How Does That Happen? Please visit Tommy's website, tommylama.com. I'm Mark Yaff. You guys, thanks a lot for jumping on. How does that happen?
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao.